Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Sima God. So today we are making this beautiful palazzo pant. It's a corporate palazzo pant um, with a band, not an elastic this time around, with a band, the actual band. So I'm going to be taking us through the process of the cutting, the sewing, every detailing. So for your palazzo pants, there are several measurements that you'll be needing. You'll be needing the waist measurement, your waist circumference, your hip circumference, your lap circumference, and your trouser length. So when you have these measurements, we can go ahead to cut. So the first thing to get is the grain line. The grain line is the line in between both parts of a trouser. And there are several methods on how to get the grain line. But for me, this is a method I use. To get the grain line, I'll do my hip measurement divided by 4 minus 3. Now this grain line is very important because it makes your trouser or your pants to balance on both. So we'll now do the grain line. So the hip, I have a hip of 45. 45 divided by 4 minus 3 will give me 8.3. So I just approximated to 9 inches. So what I'll do is, my fabric is already on fold. I'll mark my 9 inches. I'll just mark it straight down to the hemming part, from the waist to the hemming part of the pants. I'll mark the 9 inches. So having gotten the grain line, the next thing we are going to look out for is the crotch depth. So get the crotch depth, we're going to be doing the hip divided by 4 minus 1.5. So I have hip 45 divided by 4 gives me 11.25. So approximately I'll be minusing 1.25 from it, or I'll be having 10 inches left. So that 10 inches, I'm going to start measuring the 10 inches from here and where the 10 inches stops. So it means that from here to here is my crotch depth. Then standard for an adult, either on your left or on your right part, just mark 3 inches. Trust me, this works very well. So this is 3 inches. After marking your 3 inches, the next thing you're going to be doing is to fix in your lap measurement on this cross line. The lap measurement we are working with is a lap of 28. I'm going to be doing 28 divided by 4, and I'll be having 7 inches. I will add half of an inch for the sewing it, so that is 7.5. What's going to happen to this is, from this grain line I'll mark 7.5 down here. From this grain line I'll mark 7.5 down here. So having done that, the next thing I'll be doing is to curve from here, from this 3 inches here, so I've curved it and we've marked our lap measurement. So we move downwards. From the waist, I'm going to be marking the waist to the knee, and I have 21 for this person. For this person, I measured how big the person wants the palazzo to be. That's the knee and the ankle. But in a situation whereby the person you didn't measure, you can just minus. We have 7.5 here. You can just minus 1.5 inch, and you would have 6 inches. And trust me, it works very fine. But because I have this person's measurement, I'm going to be going right into using the person's measurement. So the person's knee measurement is 26.5. So 26.5 divided by 4 would give me 6.5. So what I will do is I'm going to measure 6.5 from here and 6.5 from here. And after doing that, I'll connect. So we've done the waist to the knee measurement. So the next thing I'll be doing is to insert my waist circumference on the waist of the pants. I'm working with a waist of 35 inches. 35 inches divided by 4 gives me 8.75. So what I will be doing is to measure approximately 9 inches on the waist part. I'm not putting any dots on this pants. So as you can see, I've inserted my waist measurement. So I would go down to the ankle too, and I'll be taking this 6.5 down to the ankle. And then I'll connect. You can use a straight ruler to connect it. So having done this, the next thing we are going to do is to cut this out. So our front trouser is ready. We're going to go right back to cut the back part of the trouser. The back part, in cutting it, I've already folded this fabric into two. I've already folded this particular fabric into two. Now this is the front pants. All I need to do here is to just go upward at this waist part of the back by 2 inches. After going upward by 2 inches, I'm going to come downward to the exact waist of the front here, and I'm going to slant and connect it like this at the back like this. So this is how the back pants is, the waist part of the back is going to be. The waist part of the pants for the back is going to be. Then I'll come to this crouch point. I'll mark 2.5. When I mark 2.5, from here I'll be marking 2 inches. Then I'll connect. After doing that, I will just connect it. I don't want this trouser to be bigger than how it is already, so I will just connect it. So after connecting it, the next thing I'll do is to cut. I'll get to the waist part and I'll cut like this. So after cutting this, we can say the front part of our trouser and the back part of our trouser is ready. So we'll proceed to cut the pockets. So I have two pieces for the pockets. We have about 14 inches wide and 10 inches, sorry, and 12 inches for the depth of the pocket. So for the upper part, we have, when it's unfolded, it becomes 7 and the depth becomes 12. For the waistband, I added my stay already, but the height of your waistband is dependent on you, how big or how small you want it. I just want mine to be a bit bold, so this is 6 inches. So when it's unfold, it becomes 3 inches. So we'll go to the sewing machine and we're going to sew together. So I'm hemming the one part of the band and the other part will be open like this. You can as well as just fold in and iron, but I don't do that most times. I just love to use this method. Either of which method you use, they are all good. So this other part, I'm not going to touch it for now, so I'll lay this aside. So I'll proceed to the front part. So the crotch part, I'm going to close it up first of all. So having done this, I'll proceed to fix the pockets of my trouser. Now this is the fabric I have for my pocket already. I'm going to take the front part and I'm going to be laying it on this front part. So now it's front facing front, then making sure that it's aligning to the waist parts of the sides. At the upper part, I would go in by 2.5 or 3 inches, but I'm using 2.5. And then I'm going to be marking from the waist part to about 6 inches. And then from this 2.5, I'm going to be connecting with a diagonal line. Then I'll sew. Now, having connected, the next thing I will do is to trim. After trimming this pocket, by the pocket side, I'm going to pick up every part of this towards the pocket and then I'll top stitch it. For this is so that the pocket will lay very flat and not be coming out or interfering to the front part of the pants. So after doing that, we have something like this. Now I'll take this pocket inside and then I'll come to the mouth of, after taking it inside, then I'll bring this mouth outside, making sure that this part aligns, and I will come to the upper waist part, to the waist part, remember that when we're sewing I removed 2.5. I'm going to make sure that what I have here is up to 2.5. What I have here should be up to 2.5. Then I'll just notch and secure, or you could as well as use your office pin to secure that. Then I would come to this part. I would use my machine to secure here too. After doing that, I could as well as top stitch here just to secure the pocket very well. Then after doing that, you see that for the pocket we've not closed the pocket itself. So all I'll need to do is to lift up the pants and top stitch on the pocket. You could as well just sew four corner, you could sew curve, however shape you want to leave it at this point. It's all on you. And after doing that, you can see that our pocket is ready. So I'll proceed to do the other parts using the same method. So I'm done fixing the two pockets. After fixing the two pockets, I'll lay the front aside now and pick up the back. So this is the back. I'll just proceed to couple or close the crotch part of the back. After doing that, I'll pick up the front and lay it front to front. Then I'll close both sides first, the side fronts of the pants. Close the first part. Now this part, I'm going to be opening at least 10 inches at the side of this before I start closing, because I'm inserting my zip by the side of these pants. So I'll mark my 10 inches. So I've fixed the sides. Now this is the center, the crotch part for front and back. I'm going to be looking at these are some technical things that happen when you're sewing trouser. Now I can see that at this point, the back at the hemming part is longer than the front. That is, you make sure that the two crotch here, the crotch here, front and back, are laid equally on each other. You look at it straight down. Make sure you join it together straight down. When you get here, you see that sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. But when you have such a situation, all you need to do is to measure what it is that is left here, which is 1.2. You're going to come back to this crotch, but this time around the back part only, because it's the back part that has that extra. You come to this crotch part, you take note of the 1.2. You take note of the 1.2 and then you sew it in. This way, you've eliminated the excess that is there. We're going to confirm it now if it has left. Now this is the back crotch again. This is the front crotch. I've placed them both together. Now this is what we have. This is the crotch part. Observe me. You see, we've eliminated that and the 2 points are equal. So what we'll now do is to close up these parts and hem the trouser. So I would hem the trouser by 1 inch. So I've hemmed this, but I'll still use hemming gum to still hem it the other for the second time, because I don't want the threads to be showing at this point. So I'll just leave that and we'll proceed to the waist area. I'll get my band. This part that is not sewn, I'll start from the side part. You notice, you remember I turned one point, so this point that is not turned, I'm going to make sure I take it, I make sew it round. But before that, I need to confirm my waist measurement. I need a waist measurement of 36 inches. So I have to measure around this waist to be sure that it's up to 36. And if I have any excess, I'll either take it as a dart, or I'll take it in at the center back of the back pant. So now this is 36. So after the 36, I have an extra of 2.5. So I will go to the back of the pants. I'll take one side. So 2.5 divided by 2 would give me 1.25. So I'll take this side front and this center back. I'm going to fold it into two. Then I'm into two equal halves. That's the middle point of one part of the back pant. Then I'm going to be measuring that 1.2 divided by 2 gives me 0.6. So I'll measure the 0.6 here, and then I'll mark the dart intake of 6 inches, and then I'll sew. So I've taken the dart at one part of the pants. Now this is the center back again for the trouser. I'll repeat the same process. This is the center of the pant, this is the side. I'll fold them into two equal halves. That's 1.2 that I have. I'm going to be dividing it into 2, and that will give me 0.6. So I'll mark 0.6, and I'm coming down for the dart by 6 inches. So that being done, you can see that the back now has a dart. I'll proceed to take my band now and sew. So having done this from beginning to the end, I'm going to fold it inside and neatly top stitch in a way that it's going to be neat at the front. So what I'll do is this. I'll make sure that this back part is coming down a bit lower than the actual I'm not going to make it equal. I'll make sure this one comes down a bit. Then I'll make sure that my needle and thread passes in between the sewing, in between the connection of the waist and the fabric, not on the waistband, but in between. So I'm going to be sewing in between, not directly on. So I don't know if you're going to see it, but let's try it together. So look at the back. Now look at the front. You're not going to see the thread, rather you see it in, like if you look very close, you see it inside. So this is how to have a good finishing for your pants. So I'm going to proceed like this till to the end of the other parts. So I'm done doing that. If you look in between, you're going to see that there is no line here or here, but rather in between it, and you can see that it stayed very well. So we'll proceed to the ironing table, iron the waistband firmly so that it can stay well, and then at the hemming part of the trouser, I'll mark 1.5 inches. I'll put my hemming gum and iron it very well so that it can stay. After doing that, I would come and show us. And then, so I've ironed it flat, and the next thing we'll be doing is to fix the zip. I have the zip I'm using for the side or for these pants, so I'll just sew it. So when I get to the ending part of the opening I made for this for fixing the zip, I will still sew it down more, like extra 2 inches. Look at it. This is where the zipper allowance ended, but I still sew it down more extra. So I'll do the same thing. So I'll do the same thing on the other side of it. Now it's not as if I added a zipper allowance. I sew it, I close the trouser sides by half of an inch. So I'm just sewing it in. So I'm just sewing the zip on that half of an inch. Now when you get to the waist, make sure that this waistband, they are all meeting together at the same point. So I'll fix the zip. I would tuck in this part, fold it in, and then I'll top stitch. I'll do the same thing, tuck it in, and then I'll top stitch. Then I'll close it up. After doing that, I will now close the center of the pants, making sure that I start with the crouch part first. So let me turn it inside. This is the crouch part, and this is the crouch part. I'm going to be making sure that the both of them are aligning, and then I'll sew straight down to the hemming part of the pants. You see that the hemming parts, they are aligning. Making sure that the hemming parts are aligning. So we are done making our pant trouser. So I'll go to the ironing table. I'll give this a good press, and then we'll see the outcome together.